WSAZ 530 edition.
4,000 dead, 6,000 injured, a staggering list of American, British, and Canadian soldiers killed on D-Day in World War II.
Tomorrow marks the 62nd anniversary of the Allied invasion of Europe that really turned the tables on the Nazis. And while we owe our freedom to the brave soldiers of the greatest generation, there are fewer and fewer of them around. World War II veterans are dying at a rate of as many as 1,500 a day. And that's why it's so important to see and hear the living history ourselves while we still can. In tonight's cover story, News Channel 3's Tim Ear talks with a local man who has very vivid memories of D-Day for a very good reason.
Saving Private Ryan is widely recognized as the most authentic Hollywood version of what happened on the morning of June 6, 1944 on the coast of France. But Charles Connor of Charleston says there's only so much a film can ever capture.
The movie wasn't near as bad as what it was.
It was even worse than it was in the movie.
Oh yeah, 10 times worse.
Still, Mr. Connor's personal recollections read like the screenplay. Just like the characters in the opening scene of Private Ryan, he and his fellow members of the 116th Infantry Regiment, Company B, barely stood a chance on Omaha Beach as the ramp went down on their landing craft.
And in 62 years of my research, and I'm the only one that went down that ramp that didn't get shot.
19 years old, fresh out of high school in West Virginia, Charles Connor suddenly found himself in the middle of hell. Despite a never-ending onslaught of German machine gun fire, he says he never once gave up on his original goal of mere survival.
Most of them had a feeling that they wouldn't get back, but I never had that feeling. I always felt like I'd make it, and I really did.
Another man who made it from boat to shore was Mr. Connor's friend, Harold Baumgarten, although he was wounded 5 times in the process. Dr. Baumgarten's recollections can be found in his book, Eyewitness on Omaha Beach, which he wrote at the request of his friends who survived to honor those who did not.
My best buddies was floating back and forth in the surf, drowned, shot and drowned.
That's the thing that sticks with you the most.
Yeah, I still remember that.
Seeing your friends dying right there.
Yeah. And you couldn't help them. If you tried to help them, well, you were dead too. You know, you couldn't help one of them.
You just had to keep moving.
Yeah. If you stopped long enough to help one, you'd get it too.
Does that ever leave you, or is that still with you today, that memory?
I think about it a lot. In fact, every time I try to read that book, I'll break down and cry a little bit.
They didn't complain. They didn't blame anybody else. They understood that here's the circumstances. If I don't help, who's going to? If I don't serve, who's going to have to serve in my place?
Was it a sense of duty, or was it a sense of survival, or both?
Well, it's more or less survival, I reckon.
If you happen to bump into Mr. Connor or another battle-tested World War II veteran, think about what they witnessed, what they went through as very young men in an extremely cruel environment, and take a moment to say thanks, because their time is quickly becoming history. Tim Ear, WSAZ News Channel 3, Charleston.
And again, to put 62 years in perspective, there are some grandparents alive right now who were not born before D-Day. Mr. Connor, one of only 4 remaining members of the 116th Infantry Regiment, Company B. Just a week after D-Day, Mr. Connor was critically injured in a battle and spent 2 years in rehab. After his recovery, he moved back home to West Virginia, married his longtime sweetheart, Dolores. Mr. and Mrs. Connor have been celebrating 58 years of much happier memories in their home in Charleston.